Boom! What's going on, everyone? Steve Larsen from Sales Funnel Radio. Today I'm going to teach you guys how I was able to pull off OfferMind so grandly as my very first event.
I've spent the last 4 years learning from the most brilliant marketers today. And now I've left my 9-to-5 to take the plunge and build my $1 million business. The real question is, how will I do it without VC funding or debt, completely from scratch? This podcast is here to give you the answer. Join me and follow along as I learn, apply, and share marketing strategies to grow my online business using only today's best internet sales funnels. My name is Steve Larsen, and welcome to Sales Funnel Radio.
What's up? Hey, I'm excited for this episode. I'm excited for today on this. So just know that what I wanted to do, so I had OfferMind happen just very recently. OfferMind was my event that signified me moving into the offer creation category, okay? No one has become the category king of offer creation. I am trying to make my stand there as being the best and the first in that area, as the solution provider for that area. You know what I'm talking about? So anyways, I'm really, really excited about it and all of it. OfferMind signified a lot. What this episode right here is not about is the content about OfferMind. What I wanted to do is take instead kind of an objective look at how I pulled off OfferMind so grandly as my very first event. Okay, which is really, anyway, it'll be fun. It'll be really, really cool. I love events. Events are very special. If you guys think about it, right, there are 7 phases of a funnel. We learned that from the book .com Secrets. There are 7 phases of a funnel. The 7th phase, right, of a funnel is to change somebody's environment. That's why events are so powerful. If somebody is agreeing to come to an event, they've gone through the first 6 phases of a funnel. And I'm not going to go through all those right now, but you can look them up inside of .com Secrets. Okay, the 7th phase of a funnel, the last phase of the funnel, is to change somebody's actual physical environment. And that's why it's so awesome when they show up, but it's also why it's so hard to get them to the event. And so if you're about to throw an event and you're like, it is super hard to get people to event, like, yeah, I totally get it, actually, completely understand. And so I was at this Inner Circle meeting a little while ago. It's probably like 6 months ago, I think. I don't know. My timetable's totally messed up now. It was a while ago. And I was at this Inner Circle meeting, and I learned from some of these other people who were there, what they've been doing is in some of their products, they've been giving away a free ticket to their event. And so when you buy the book or the program or whatever, included in that is a ticket to the event. That's clever. Now, let me ask you a question, though. Do you think the person who shows up, right, with a free ticket has the same mentality as the person who shows up with a paid ticket? No, totally different, right? And in fact, if you give away like 1,000 free tickets, I would guess maybe 200 would actually show up. That much of a drop-off, okay? Huge drop-off. And very different mentality. You will attract a broke room, a poor room if you're going to be selling something. Not to offend anybody, just being honest, okay? If you pay to get to an event, what do you think the attendance rate is going to be? A lot higher. It's pretty standard inside of events to have a 10% drop-off rate. Okay, where people just don't, 10% no-show rate, they just don't show up. Baffles me, blows my mind, have no idea why it's that way, but it is. Okay, even with high-ticket events, paid events, whatever. When I was running a lot of FAT events, or funnel hackathon events, guys, that was a $15,000 to $25,000 event for people to show up. That's how much they paid. And still, we'd have people who would not show up after paying that much money. Yes, I'm serious, okay? And it's like, holy crap, are you serious? Yeah, I am. Okay, and that's what's interesting about this. There's always a no-show rate. Understand the difference between, there's going to be a different mentality of person that shows up when you gave away free tickets versus a mentality of person who showed up with paid tickets. So I was like, well, I need validation to even move forward on this idea. How can I validate throwing my own event? I mean, I've always wanted to throw my own event. And so what happened was about 4 months ago when I knew that Russell was going to be doing, wait, it's November, isn't it? November, December. By the time you see this episode, it'll be December. Okay. But right now, recording this, because I batch my content, practice what I preach here, right? It was back in February when Russell first started talking about doing this book, right? The 30 Days book. When he first started talking about that and he started reaching out to all the people for it, I was like, sweet, this is going to be so cool. And I went in, I got to write my chapter and be in here and be featured in it, which was really exciting and awesome. And what was cool is when he wrote this book, when the idea came up for this book, I thought to myself, that's it. That is how I can fill a room. That is the vehicle that I can give a free ticket away with when I sell it. Okay. And so that was super exciting. I knew that OfferMind was going to be coming up sometime in the future. I didn't know when, but I knew it was there. Okay. And most people will stop because they don't see all the details yet. Don't stop. Okay. If you got a sweet idea, just know that clarity will happen as you move, not before you move. And so little nugget there. Okay, it's true though. And so when I saw him go out and say, you know what, we're gonna give away, for everyone who promotes the book, we're gonna give 100% commissions. He's like, I'm not gonna take any commissions on that book. I was like, you're kidding. Oh my gosh, this is actually really, really big. Okay, dude, could I interview you on my podcast, right? And Russell was on the podcast a little while ago. Dude, can I get this? Can I do that? All right, and I started structuring a campaign around this book, knowing that when I drop out a free ticket with the book, right, I'm going to get more sales because the perceived value of my offer is going to go through the roof. And I also knew that people were going to be like, oh my gosh, and it's going to be more talkable. And so I sold 375 books, and I was like, I bet a third of those people will actually show up. And that's about what happened. Okay. About 120 RSVP'd, I think about 100 showed up, which is pretty standard for a free ticket. You know what I mean? There's not as much, there's not as much fear of loss if you don't show up for a free event that you didn't pay for, right? And so what I did is I piggybacked the event on Russell's event of the 30-day book launch, right? I piggybacked my physical event off of the digital event of the Russell's 30-day book launch going on. Okay, that's how I filled it up so much. I purposely did it that way. Now, I also knew, though, that a lot of people were not going to be able to, or didn't hear about, or just were like, hey, I already bought the book through somebody else. So I didn't want to leave out all those other people. So what I did is I built a funnel. An event funnel is a very fast funnel to go in and sell, right? People who wanted to actually dive on in and actually join the event. So that's what I did. And it worked really, really well also. And then I sold a VIP upgrade. And then I sold a one-on-one session with me afterwards on the third day. And I started selling different areas around it. But the biggest mistake I will tell you guys right now that people make with throwing events is they try to make money on the event tickets. Okay? I don't take any profit on people just getting to the event. Okay? There's not as much story in this episode. I just want to hit several things right here. What I did is I ran a little ask campaign inside the group, okay, Science of Selling Online, and I asked a lot of you guys, like, hey, what questions do you guys have about how I ran OfferMind? And so I'm answering a lot of you guys' questions right now as you guys had them. So you guys see how I did it. The event room in the hotel was $7,500, I believe. I was like, I don't want to pay for that. I was like, holy crap, are you serious? I was like, well, what if I just did like a really long one-on-one session with somebody on the third day? So the event was 2 days, but there was actually a third day where I left it open for people if they wanted to do one-on-one sessions with me. That's exactly what happened, right? And somebody came in and they paid, and I charged almost the exact amount as the room was. So sweet. All right, somebody else paid for the room. Okay, please don't get offended by this. I'm just telling you guys what's going through my head. And I was like, okay. I knew that it was gonna be around $20,000 for the AV team to come in. It was significantly more though. It was $35,000, and for the AV team to come on in, it's why it looked so pro and so amazing. I was like, man, I want to pay for that. So I was like, okay, what if I just push a little bit harder on this book? And I did. And we sold 375 books. That's the equivalent of $37,500. Well, sweet. Okay, that paid for the AV. We have some sessions that paid for the room. All right. Now, how do I pay for swag and like to make it like awesome and get a photographer there and get someone just filming B-roll? Right. All those things together was probably another 10 grand. Right. And so what I did is more than that. Anyway, what I did is I sold a VIP upgrade. Through that VIP upgrade, I think there was like $14,000 that came in through the VIP upgrade. I was like, sweet. You guys get how I did this? I mean, out of pocket, there was a few other expenses, things around. I'm just not remembering off the top of my head. But you have to understand, like get resourceful. Okay, and it doesn't matter what level you're at. Okay, I've watched Russell do this. When he's been planning Funnel Hacking Live, there will be these, big people, Tony Robbins, or let's get in this person or that person. And he's like, crap. Whew, seriously? That's how much money they want, or it costs that much to do that, or the event room's this amount of money, or the swag, holy crap. Rather than go, well, maybe we won't. He says, how can I? Okay, he says, how can I? And how can I do that? And then multiple times I've watched him go through and structure a way to liquidate his cost on that. That's exactly 100% how I pulled off OfferMind. Okay, structurally I'm talking about, right? How I actually pulled it all together and pull all those pieces together. So in total, I think it was around $65,000 to pull it off. Is that about how much it was? 65 grand for OfferMind? I just checking with Colton, my alter ego now, right? $65,000 to pull off OfferMind, and I think out of my pocket to actually pull off the event, about $37,000 for selling the book, another $7,000 for plus the 15-ish plus 20. I think I shelled out maybe personally about maybe like 6 or 7 grand, which guys in hindsight. Really awesome. I wanted sweet swag. I wanted an amazing, visually impressive experience. I wanted, right, if step 7 of a funnel, right, phase 7 of funnels, the final phase of the funnel is a new environment, I cannot just have you walk into a normal room. I must put you in an environment. Does that make sense? You have got to enter a different sphere, a different place. And so like I'm willing to go in the hole over that. You understand? And so I did. So like structurally, that's how I pulled off the event. Like 3 days before OfferMind happened, I asked one of the AV guys, which they're freaking amazing, by the way. Valiant was the name of the AV team. They're the same ones that do Funnel Hacking Live. They're the same AV team that does all the 2 Combo Go X events. They do everything for Russell. They set up the stage. It's brilliant room, right? All that stuff. That's why it looks so great. And they came to me and they had this cool pitch. They're like, what if we love your light bulb logo. We were thinking like, what if we dangled light bulbs upside down from the ceiling in like this cool way with like your logo floating in the back? I was like, that's amazing. Yes, sounds good. Okay. So like as far as like structurally pulling off the event logistically, that's how it happened. Is I'm looking for ways to liquidate cost on the cool thing. Rather than sacrifice experience, how can I afford? How can I create experience? And so the event was pretty much like it's completely liquidated. Oh, almost. I did go in the hole just a little bit with it, but that, whatever. I mean, you guys that came, I mean, if you didn't come, there's no way you did not see someone posting about OfferMind, right? Social proof was all over the place. I know the psychology of sharing a post on social media. Someone shares. The reason we share is because we think it's funny or invokes a lot of emotion. It makes somebody laugh or it makes somebody feel important. Okay, when I share something funny, I'm doing it because I'm saying I'm funny. When I share something that makes me angry, I'm sharing it because I'm saying it makes me angry. Right? Does that make sense? We share stuff to say who we are. It actually is a reflection of the essence of the individual sharing. It has less to do with what you're sharing and more about how the sharer feels. And so knowing that, guys, those are like the things, like understanding that piece of it. What I was trying to do is give people content to share. That's why the room needed to be amazing. That's why all the stuff in there needed to be like visually so impressive. You understand? It was not just about me teaching. It was not just about me practicing stuff about my book that's coming out about it, right? Your core offer is going to be the book, right? And the content itself from the event was like at a high level, the stuff that's coming out in the book. And I needed to test it in one final phase. I've been testing it for months and months, like 8-9 months, right? And I needed to go in and do that. But you have to understand, like, that was what the event was for, content-wise. But I needed it to be so visually impressive. It needed to be an experience. When you walked in, right, I needed those doors to close, right? You're not allowed inside the event. No one's allowed in there. No one's leaking pictures, right? I know a few people did, and I wish they hadn't, okay? Because what I'm doing is I'm creating anticipation. Events, right? Event throwing is what a marketer does, whether online or offline. Part of the event is anticipation for the event. Can you imagine? Wow, right? And I need to invoke that emotion. Imagine what it'll be like. Imagine what the feeling's gonna be. What is it gonna be like when I sit there and I have this major epiphany on why I've not made it work yet? What's it gonna be like? And that game in the person's head is what I'm trying to cause. so that when they're behind closed doors and their registration table is on the outside of the event and the doors are closed, but they hear the music, and they hear the music and they feel the ground rumble, and they're seeing some streaming lights coming through, but they can't quite see what's going on. And for the first time, those doors open, there's literally new doors in their life opening. You understand? It is a symbol. Okay? It is a symbol. Event throwing is an art. There's a science behind it, but there is an art piece to it as well. I am not just having people show up in a room and me speak at them. In my mind, like no matter the content, what I would say, huge opportunity, failure if that was the case. That is not why I threw the event. Okay, I threw the event, yes, for the content pieces. I'm gonna be using those other places as well, okay? Book, other cool stuff that's coming. But I needed to, it's more about the experience of the individual showing up, okay? Is it a symbol of new opportunity in the individual's life? Am I breaking and rebuilding so many beliefs inside the person's head that they are literally doing things that they had never thought they could do? They have new capacities for their own life that they never thought were possible. That's what I'm trying to do. That's why the event is such a big deal. All right, all the stuff laid out in perfect matching order on the tables, the swag, the way they walk up, why the doors are closed, right? The way they open up, the music that's playing, music you guys hear me play on my live funnel builds, okay? There's so much freaking psychology behind it. It is important that I'm not in the room when you actually open the door. I should not be in the room. All right, I should have somebody else introduce me, and their whole role is to raise the energy level of the room. Whoa, whoa, whoa! And then, welcome, Mr. Steven Larsen, right? And I need that, right? It elevates. As I walk up to the stage, and the person that was emceeing, which was James Friel, which I'm very thankful for, right? He did that, and he got him riled up. And there's a cool videos played. Marley, my amazing video person, made this incredible walk-up video. Like, whoa, lots of credibility stuff that it feels, I'm a little bit uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like, I don't ever to be like, me, but that's important for the psychology of the event. And when I walk up, I need to physically make contact with the MC, okay? That is the transfer of authority and power on stage, and it needs to be visual in front of the people. This is very important. I'm not making this up, you guys, okay? Go watch 10X Secrets training. He's gonna talk about this. That psychology is massive. So when I walk up, my role is to not raise the energy of the room. My role is to come in with an already high level energy room, and then I can do my thing. Otherwise, I gotta raise the energy of the room, and then I can do my thing. I don't wanna do that role, okay? There's a lot to throwing the event. There's a lot of psychology behind it. And if you think I'm joking, go watch people who actually do this professionally as well all the time. I've been exposed to a lot of that. That's why I know a lot of this, and I've been doing it, and that's why we pulled it off well. So there is an orchestration behind your actual event, how it runs, the way it happens. I know that as the event goes up, I need to build pressure and excitement and then release it. And then build pressure and excitement higher than last time, and then release it. And then build pressure and last time higher than the other 2 times, and then release it. And then build pressure, and then sail. That's exactly what I did, okay? So I'm like, boom, cool nugget drop, release it, let's take a break. And I could tell when people were exhausted mentally or physically. I put caffeine on the tables, okay? Prove it, that's the emblem I'm in, right? You guys all know that. Right, and a lot of you guys ask me about it, and I drink Prove It every single day, and a lot of you guys know that, and you know that about the orange bottle, right? This is the orange bottle. There's always orange juice in there, right? A lot of you guys comment about that. What did I do? I need you mentally checked in. I'm gonna drop some stuff that no one ever taught before. So because of that, we made sure to get literally $2,000 worth of Prove It on the tables, okay? And lace it all and keep it on the tables, right? It wasn't so much about me. I'm not trying to sell it. I need their brains checked. Boosh! Are they with me? Okay, because I'm gonna go long, I'm gonna go hard, and there's gonna be I'm gonna go late into the evening. I'm gonna over-deliver day 1, right? Over-deliver to the hilt, blow people's brains, brains on the wall, right? And the reason is because I'm doing everything that I can to orchestrate an experience, not just drop cool content. Okay, they got caffeine. I'm giving them notebooks so they can take notes. I'm not gonna expect them to come with a pen and a notepad, but I need them to take notes. Mentally, they're checking in. When they do that, when they open up that notebook and they start taking notes, they are with me. Then when they're taking a little bit of caffeine, still like one of the best nootropics that's ever been out there, right? They are with me. They can go further and longer than they normally can physically on their own. More discipline, more focus, more attention than they would ever do at their own homes. Very fascinating, by the way. Okay. And then they go to sleep and they're spending time with each other in the evening. And they're like, holy crap, that was freaking nuts. Jeez, right? And then the next day, what did you learn? What did you learn? What did you learn? And part of what I'm doing is as I'm taking breaks, you guys all notice that we're there, I'm going in and I'm saying, there was those catchbox mics, right? I'm like, hey, if you have questions throughout, ask me. I need this to be interactive. That's not just for questions. That's to keep you engaged, right? Me throwing around the catchbox all over the place, right? The microphone that you can throw. It's so that I know what was the coolest pieces and I'm hearing it and I'm hearing where people's wow is. I'm like, for me, the wow was over here. You thought the wow was over there. Okay, cool. And you guys were guiding me more than you realized when I was on stage. I was extremely prepared, but I'm making sure that I'm spot checking based on your feedback, right? And when breaks are over, keep that energy high by throwing around that catchbox. What'd you learn? And if I'm just standing on stage in the one spot, bad, dumb, failure, okay? You guys know the photographer that was there, she's like, you move more than anybody I've ever seen on stage. I'm like, yeah, it's because I am trying to keep you with me, right? You should be freaking exhausted after one 90-minute presentation. Okay, Russell taught me once, he said, one 90-minute presentation is the equivalent of an 8-hour workday in energy expenditure. Okay, 90 minutes. I don't even know how long I went. I went from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I think it went 12 hours. There was a 1.5 hour lunch break. We took hour dinner, I think. We take an hour dinner? Yeah. Something like that. So I went for 8 hours. I was freaking exhausted, guys. Like don't plan on sleeping when you do this kind of stuff. Like and you should be exhausted. I'm running around the room. I am responsible for the energy tone that is set in the room. I am responsible, not the audience. Guys, why aren't you? When people stand up and they beg for comments, it's the presenter that's losing, not the audience. Okay? I know that. And when I was doing these like super high level fat events, stuff like that, like they're deep, complex concepts sometimes, right? It's not up to them. It's up to me. I sort of run around like an animal. My feet were freaking on fire after day one, all right? A lot of people say, Steven, how do you do what you do? It hurts. That's the answer, man. It hurts. I was laying down in the hotel room, even though I live here. Way easier to just stay in mind prep zone and try and stay in state, right? While I'm staying in a hotel room at the hotel that it's happening. So I can just go right to the room, right back up. Lunches, go detox, drop the pressure and noise like Alex Serafin talks about, right? Relax for a second, listen to some meditation music, chill the freak out, and then go back into state. Bam, right? The break is for me is just as much as it is for the people, right? Boom, boom. And multiple times someone would walk up and be like, can I ask you a question? I'd be like, I'm sorry, no. Because I need to make sure I protect my break. I need to make sure I protect my time. So that's, guys, I want to walk through like how I actually structured my first 6-figure day because that's what happened there. But I'm not on this episode though. I want to do that on the next one. I just want you to know how I threw the event, okay? And what was all involved with it. And we're getting swag and we're getting net 30 terms so I can make sure I can get, right, the actual affiliate cash coming in on this one so that it pays for that. Let's get it over here so it pays for that. Let's get it over here, it pays for that. And guys, that's how you throw a sweet, amazing event, okay? You don't have all those things in places. Not usually. Most of us, right? Not usually. You don't have all that stuff in place. Instead, it's all about building the pressure, just like you would a product. Build the pressure, right? Tickets, go, 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 go. We're going to close. We're going to close. We're going to close, right? Who can pay for what? Who's can do what? Bam, 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 right? And it's more about, right? It has a lot to do with anticipation, energy output, expectations, right? An experience, an environment. That's how you throw a good event. I could have stood up and said things that were not actually that prolific, and it would still have been a great event because of the experience that we provided. Does that make sense? It's that big of a deal. Now, I understand that you guys, that the content was epic and that's never been taught anywhere. And I've never had a platform to teach all that. And it was really, really cool. But I know I've talked about like the content that came from the event and like how I write the book slowly and why the event was thrown and stuff like that. But I'm not talking about the content. I'm talking about the event itself and throwing it. What I'd like to do in a few episodes from now as well is walk through how I was able to structure a 6-figure day. My first one ever. And it was almost multi-6, which is really cool. And I want to teach you guys how I was able to go do that and pull that apart as well. So again, I know these episodes are a little bit more in depth. They're not a little more intense than I normally would make them, but a lot of you guys ask, so I thought it'd be a cool place to do that. Somebody asked, what's the biggest takeaway you had from your first live event? Thank you, Pat Phelps. Appreciate it. What's the first biggest takeaway? They were challenging, but Colton and I were even talking. They're not as challenging as people said that it was. And I know it's because we had great help. There's a full-out team. There's no way you can do that on your own, by the way. You need people. People were all over the place helping. So appreciate that. I clearly understand and realize that it's not me land. Biggest takeaway, yeah, definitely it was in liquidating costs through other things. How much did all the AV cost stuff? How much did all the AV stuff cost using all that other crew? $35,000 for the crew. They're completely worth it. Hire them. They're amazing. For the total event, $65,000. And as far as roles and positions, it's actually Dave Woodward that taught me that one person on your team should be dedicated to you solely the entire event. There's a lot of pressure going into your head. So you need to have somebody with you all the time. I need this. I need water. Do you have like a protein bar or something like that, back and forth? And understand, like, it was just Colton and I like pulling this stuff off, guys. Like, it's so crazy. A lot of people helped, swooped on in, and I just am so appreciative. There's a lot of, and it's so, anyway, really, really means a lot as far as like setting it up, getting the stuff on the table. Really, I mean, it's just so helpful. Colton's wife came in for a little bit. Tara Burshart, she came in and did a lot. Ryan Jones, right? Scott Taylor, you came in. Anyway, I'm trying to give kudos and thanks to where it's deserved. A lot of people involved in pieces of setup, stuff like that. As far as roles though, anyway, what the biggest thing I learned, you know what? I'm not gonna answer that one now. Biggest thing I learned, I want to talk about it on the way I structured the 6-figure day, which would be really, really cool. So anyways, appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Very excited about this. And hopefully you guys learn more about throwing events. I'm not saying it's got to be that massive scale all the time. You're like, crap, it's even on $65,000 to go throw an event. Okay, whatever, fine. But just know, like it's more about providing an experience and changing the environment. It is the final phase in the funnel. And because of that, you're going to lose a lot of people the 6 steps on the way to the 7th, right? Think about it. Russell's got a freaking giant list. A lot of people that show up to Funnel Hacking Live are not using ClickFunnels yet. They want to, right? But still, his event is only 4,000 people when there's 70,000 active monthly users. When there's 4,000 people coming to this next event, 4,500, right? Think about the numbers of that. And he has such a huge list. And so some people will be like, Steven, I'm going to go through this. I'm going to go throw a massive event. It's real easy. Events are like the hardest thing to fill ever. Way harder than a webinar. Way harder than anything else because they got to go set up who's the babysitter, right? What are my flights? What are my hotels? Can I get off time for work? Can I get off time for this? Blah, 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 right? There's so much stuff. Events like that appeal to hot audiences when you have a very hot audience who are on the 7th phase of the funnel. So it's a small group. Right? Very small group. And I'm excited for the next OfferMind. There certainly will be one. Probably at least, it's going to be a yearly event. And next year, I'm actually already bringing in some really cool speakers as well. I can't tell you who, but what? Okay. So anyways, if you guys want a ticket though, we do have discounted tickets for a little while, and the price is definitely going up because it's a sick event, and I got some cool people coming to you guys as well. This first event, I needed the content to be more about the content. Next event, though, I'm actually going to bring in some more people about here's how you create offers around that industry, that industry, that industry, that industry. And here's the expert on the person that did it. So really cool people coming on in about specifically offer creation would be really, really cool. So but you guys can go to offermind.com and go get your thing. So it's exciting. Really, really pumped for you. Really excited for all this stuff. And it'll be really cool. So go to offermind.com. You guys can grab tickets. If it's off, just put your name in the waiting list. If it's up, then the tickets are there and you're able to actually dive on in and grab a ticket at the price that it was at now. We're going to have to raise the price a little bit. But anyway, excited. Is a screaming success. A lot of people involved. And definitely was a Hail Mary. It was just tons of fun. But it took Colt and I think, a solid 3 days just to recover physically. Probably like a solid week to recover mentally. I mean, I was wrecked. You were wrecked? Yeah, I was wrecked. We were wrecked, man. That was like, I've thrown a lot of events. There's only one other time in my life I've been that tired, and it was during basic training. Seriously. That was insane, man. But anyways, cool stuff, guys. Appreciate it. You're all awesome. And appreciate you guys coming. I know a lot of you guys wanted to come, and there'll definitely be others. Would love to have you at the future ones. See you guys later. Bye.
Boom! If you're just starting out, you're probably studying a lot. That's good. You're probably geeking out on all the strategies also, right? That's also good. But But the hardest part is figuring out what the market wants to buy and how you should sell it to them, right? That's also what I struggled with for a while until I learned the formula. So I created a special mastermind called an OfferMind to get you on track with the right offer and, more importantly, the right sales script to get it off the ground and sell it. Want to come? There's small groups on purpose so I can answer your direct questions in person for 2 straight days. You can hold your spot by going to OfferMind.com. Again, that's OfferMind.com.